Hello, everyone. My name is Romario, and I'm owner operator of Vidal Hauling. This is a video that I've been meaning to record for a while. I tried to do the whole recording from the truck while I was working, but the sound quality was terrible. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it from my office. Um, and so usually when it's an instructional or a video that I'm trying to get some information, I like videos that go straight to the point. But for this one, I do want to say before I get started that most of the information I'm going to talk about in this video, it's really more geared toward people that either had just recently started their junk removal and dumpster rental business, or if you're about to get started. So before I started my business, I did the same thing you're doing right now. I went on YouTube and went online and tried to get information on like how much it's gonna cost for advertising, for equipment, how much money can you make, how much can you charge your customers. And there's lots of information out there. There's lots of resources, bunch of YouTube channels that you can follow, and they're all very good. I use a lot of them to get some information when I started. But there was one aspect of the business that I didn't find a lot of information. And again, if you've already been doing the work, some of the stuff I'm going to say is going to sound pretty obvious, but if you're new or if you haven't started yet, it might help you. Hopefully my experience will help you. And if you like it, leave a comment below, hit the follow button, subscribe, and then I do have some more tips that I can give as far as this type of business. The years that I've been doing, I definitely gained a lot of experience and from things that I didn't know I was going to need to know. But yeah, so before I got started, I did some research on landfills, but I didn't know that there were different types and how much it was going to cost and all that stuff. And so what I did, I went on Google and, well, first of all, I actually asked a couple of I had a friend that it was kind of like the similar line of work. I asked him, and then I knew another person that was doing that type of work already, and I asked them to. I was able to get some information from them, but not a whole lot. And what I did end up going on Google, and I just typed landfill, and I expanded the search to basically the whole area that I was planning on servicing, right? And then where I'm at, I found, I think it was about like 8 or 9 landfills in the area that came up like on Google. Some of them I wasn't able to use because they are designed for residents, so it's just like residential trash. So if you show up with a dumpster, they're gonna turn you away because it's not what they are for. So those cross off the list right away because can't go there. And then I found out that the other ones, I was like, well, I'm gonna write them down and get the information over the phone. And I found out that landfills apparently don't like to answer the phones. So there were 2 of them that actually I was able to get a hold of someone when I called them, and I got all the information that I needed. The other ones, what I did was I took a day off and drove to the landfills. If you know, landfills are usually not built near neighborhoods. They're usually kind of far out in the country or industrial areas. So it did take almost like the whole day for me to drive from one to the other. And what I would recommend for you to do is when you go there, come with a piece of paper so you can ask the questions and get the information. So the first thing is, should ask them, how do they charge? And here where I live, I kind of have a model spreadsheet here. I don't use one that looks exactly like this one. But basically, you ask them how do they charge, and here's some of the situations I came across, and some of them change over time too. That's another subject. A lot of them would charge you per ton. This one here, for instance, Republic, they're sort of close to where I live, and they charge 75 per ton. They used to do a minimum of 1 ton, but then they moved up to 2. Then I've got another one here that's run by a county, but they have a commercial landfill. They charge 80 per ton, and they have a minimum of 1 ton. With them, it's also convenient because they bill me later. Just basically sign up like a simple account online, and they have my credit card information on file, which makes it a little faster when I go there because they don't ask me to come out of the truck to get my information. Then when I leave, I don't have to. I just sign a receipt and so it makes it a little faster. I don't have to stop on the way in, but I do stop on the way out. They still wait, of course. I go on the scale, but so yeah, they charge $80 per ton, minimum 1 ton. It says a minimum 1 ton, but the few times I went there, they actually prorated when I was under 1 ton. And then there are some of them that will charge you a little less. This one here, you can see it says 50 per ton. The only catch with this one that it's kind of far away from pretty much all my jobs, so I rarely go to this one, but I do have the information if I happen to be in the area. And same thing with this one here. This one actually, I gotta update this one. They're a little cheaper. I think they're 65 per ton. Again, they are a little far out of the way. So that's the first information. You gotta ask them like how much they charge, how do they charge, right? I've also came across another landfill. I don't even have it here because I never go there. The prices are higher. They don't charge per ton. They charge per size of container that you come there. So like they know the size of my dumpster, and that's how much they charge. So it doesn't matter if I'm bringing a ton or 2 tons or whatever. They charge for the size of how much stuff I'm bringing. So that's the first thing. Ask them how do they charge, right? The second question, ask them like, what do they take? And what do they don't take? And I know the question sounds a little redundant, but some of the landfills, when I ask them, well, what do you guys take? And then they give me like, oh, we take residential and construction debris. But then you ask them like, oh, do you guys take insulation or shingles or bricks? And they were like, oh, maybe we don't take one or the other or something. So ask them, what do you take and what do you don't take? And if they say they don't take, ask them if they have any fees for that stuff. There was one landfill that I asked them if they took mattresses and box springs. They said, no, we don't take them. I was like, well, you don't take it all? They're like, no, we do, but it's like a $250 fee. Obviously, I'm not going to pay $250 to throw away a mattress, but it might be a situation that, you have a customer that has multiple mattresses. For some reason, they want to throw it away. If it was a little cheaper, but anyways, just ask them what they take, what they don't take, and if they have any fees. For instance, the Hanover one here, that's the county that I go sometimes. They have a longer list, but these are the ones that like actually I deal with. So for instance, they charge $20 per mattress and box spring if I take that, and it doesn't matter the size. They also have like some extra fees for tires. If it's like the little tires, like $2.50, and then if it's regular size tires, like for a car, then they charge $15 per tire, and they have some. There's a maximum number of tires they take. I've never got to that number, so I don't have it written here. And then they have some extra fee for electronics and stuff, but they seem to kind of ignore those things. But they do have some fees, and their website has all the information. And you're also going to probably notice that, at least in my area, none of the landfills take anything that's a chemical product. So like no wet paint, no gasoline, or sometimes even cleaning products and stuff like that. And propane tanks, if those are usually the things they don't want to take. And you also come across they don't want anything that's like a small engine, like a lawnmower or a power washer. They'll tell you that, yeah, we take it, but it has to be drained. Like, no, you can't have any oil or gasoline. So usually for my customers, I tell them I don't take them because it's really hard for you to tell if it's drained or not. At least in my opinion, if you want to take it, of course. So again, ask them how do they charge, how much they charge, if there's a minimum, of course, per ton, and the stuff that if there's any extra fees for certain items, like usually mattresses, they're gonna have a fee for that. Some of these other ones here, they don't have any fees for mattresses. That's why I don't have written down here. And then the other thing I learned was that there are some landfills that will take different materials for different rates. There's one of them I don't have written here. This one is called Gillies. They actually emailed me a 2-page document because they have 2 locations here where I live. And they have different prices for pretty much everything that they take. So it was like, if it was just dirt, is this much money. If it's asphalt, which doesn't really apply to me because I don't really deal with that stuff. If it's concrete, this much. And if it's just regular construction debris, it's a different price. And the 2 locations that are here, they have different prices. So that one, it's too long. So I just have a laminated document that I keep it in my truck. And then for concrete, for instance, I learned that if it's just clean concrete, I found a place here in Richmond that they take it for free because they're going to recycle. And then I also found another place that has a flat fee of $35. Both of these places, it doesn't matter how much concrete I bring to them. It's just that's how much they. Well, one of them doesn't even charge. You just have to go there. And then the other one's $35, and it's a flat fee. So that's another thing you can look forward to. Like, there's some landfills that are specialized in different things that they have different rates for those things. Which, I don't really do a whole lot with concrete because of the equipment that I have is not really. It's not that good for something that's that heavy, but I do sometimes pick up a little bit of concrete if it's a small job. And knowing that one has a flat fee and the other one doesn't charge me anything, it's really easy for me to give price the jobs to my customers because I know how much I'm going to pay or how much I'm not going to pay. So that's the other thing too. And the last thing, as far as different materials, also look up in your area to see if there are places that will take yard debris for free. For instance, if I'm just taking brushes or shrubs or landscape stuff, as long as it's not tree trunks, there's some. Or I even took bamboo to one of the landfills. They didn't charge me anything for it. I don't know if they're gonna make mulch out of it. I don't care, but they didn't charge me anything. So you can also look for stuff like that. That if it's just like yard type of debris, usually for those places, well. Not usually, it should be that if you're only taking one thing, they will take that for that fee. So like I said, with the concrete, both places, when I call them, they said like, it's just clean concrete. There's no dirt, no sand, no nothing. It's like, no, if it's just concrete, those are the price. And for the landscaping stuff is the same deal too. So if there are bags, if it like leaves with bags, they will like ask me to remove the bags. So, but they did take for free. So it was great. Then the other thing you got to ask them is their hours of operations. That was a big one. There were two landfills that one of them, they didn't have any information on their website. Also, a lot of them don't have any information when you go online. And then at the location, one of them had a piece of paper on like in the window, like on the place where they have the scale. And it said they close at 5 o'clock, I think. And I usually try to schedule my pickups and rentals to kind of end before 3 o'clock because some of the landfills here, they close sort of early in the day. And but there was one day that I was kind of close to 5 o'clock, but I should have enough time. When I got there, to my surprise, they were already closed. The person that was still at the office told me that they had recently changed their hours of operation from 5 o'clock to 4:30. So when I got there at 4:50, they were like, yeah, we're closed. So write that down. It's really important. Ask them if they know what's the hours of operations, what days they're open, what days they're closed. And on that same subject, ask them what holidays they observe and that they don't open. For instance, the one that's run by the county, it's kind of easy. Their website has all the information that I needed, and since like run by the government, it's you kind of know what days they're going to be open, what they're not. But the private ones, just ask them. There's one here in Richmond that only closes for Christmas and New Year's. They're open pretty much every other day of the year, but some of them they're not. So ask that question too. And I think that's pretty much it. So just a little recap. So like ask them, how do they charge? Like, no, if it's per ton, per size, if they have a minimum, if one is a ton, ask them what are their extra fees for different items like mattresses and box springs. Those are definitely going to come across those things. Ask them about like if they take anything that's chemical. Most of the ones here in Richmond don't take anything that's like gasoline, like I said, cleaning products or wet paint. They'll take cans of paint when they're dry, but not when they're wet. And then as for the hours of operations and what days they're not open. And then also look for places in your area that will take different materials. They might take for free, or they have like a smaller fee. Like I said, like concrete and yard waste is one of the ones here. Metal, I think I guess I shouldn't have to say, but there's some places that will recycle metal. They'll pay you for metal, for scrap metal. So like they usually take anything that's made out of metal, like engines, small engines. I'm sorry, small engines too. They probably take too. Appliances. Pretty much just anything is metal. So like instead of having to go pay a landfill, you can just recycle it and get paid for it. All right, and I think that's about it. Like I said, when I first started my business, I found a bunch of information about all sorts of things regarding the dumpster and junk removal business. Dumpster rental and junk removal business. But landfills were one of the things that it was kind of hard for me to figure out like the whole thing. And really, what you should do in the beginning is, if you want to do, you can just write down everything, or you can type up a document and a page and just laminate it and keep it in your truck. For me, I kind of made a habit to go to the places I know have the lowest price and what part of town they are. So like, depending where I'm working, I know which ones I'm going to go to. So I just kind of, also I've been doing this for a while now. So like, I kind of just have that information off the top of my head. But if you're starting and you still need help remember this type of stuff, just type it and print it out and keep it in your truck. So good luck with your business, and thanks for watching.